Yeah, of course. And I love that idea that helping parents find the right medicine faster than when it matters. So I'm guessing, you took that into account with the packaging. I think you said a little bit bolder, brighter, maybe more streamlined.
Totally.
So is that mostly what the goals were for the package? I guess
Yeah,
how does it help it find
that's a
parents
great
find it?
it's a great point, and I have my flats like next to me at all times, right? But so the big part was navigation at shelf, right? You know that you have so many options, and especially for new parents, that can be extremely overwhelming. And one
Yeah.
of the things we loved so much about our original look was the use of white space and clarity, right? So our white is kind of ties back to the idea of our transparency around ingredients. So we took that a step further and we listed out right on the front, very easy to understand, what what our value prop is, right? 0% artificial additives, 0% artificial dyes, none of the fillers that you'll find in our competitive set. But
Hmm.
the medicine is also front and center because importantly, it's right there. It's the same ingredient that you've trusted your whole life to treat your symptoms, just made better now.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. And I noticed from the email that you guys sent, so you had characters, right, on the boxes
Yeah.
before, and so the characters are gone. So how
Yeah.
did you make that decision to kind of let go of those
Oh,
characters?
totally. I mean, listen, like one of the biggest challenges walking into this project was how do we make sure that we keep the warmth that
Hmm.
our loyal fans have lived with for so long, that have gotten them through so many tough days, through so many sick days, uh, and keep that feeling of trust. And we're in your home, right? We're dealing with you when your kids are not well, which is a very trying moment for a parent, not to say nothing of the child. So at the same time, though, those guys worked really hard for us, but it was time for them to take a little vacation. And the the idea that a parent is the one shopping for their children's medicine, I don't I don't necessarily know that I need our kids to be thinking about their medicine all the time. I want them to think about having fun and being out in the world and being well. So what we decided to bring in as our sort of, I don't want to call it a replacement, but uh, what that became was this idea of the spark of relief. And so our new kind of look and feel features our beautiful spark here, nice and bright. And it alludes to that idea of that thing you feel when they finally start to get better. Because we actually don't want you to think about us until you have to. And when you do, we want you to think about how it's going to feel when it's over. Um,
Okay.
so that kind of spark of relief and that feeling of the sigh that you have when you're like, oh, finally the fever came down. That's kind of what we want you to take away, not necessarily a relationship with the characters on your medicine bottle.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
how does use of color aid in either, parents finding what they need quickly or
Yes.
aid in particular in this redesign?
Great question. So color for us has a couple of different meanings. One is that it creates a family, right? So our Genexa red, as we're calling it, is our signal to pain and fever, right? So all of our pain and fever products will sit within that category. Then you have our teal kind of blue, and that will be our cough cold line. So then it starts to become really organized for a parent, and I'm particularly type A when I'm organizing things for my kids. I need it to be really easy to understand. So what that helps us do is create these systems that people can know they're shopping for a specific thing. So when you think about allergy, that'll be green. When you think about sleep, that'll be purple. When you think about a digestive, that'll be blue.
Hmm.
So all of these live in these almost like a program that you can buy into the whole program.
Yeah.
And then again, at shelf, it makes it a lot easier to find when you're looking at these different categories in inherently that had started to happen categorically. um,
Okay.
and so what we're doing is just taking that and making it something that's very easy to say, okay, I need all of these things, and say nothing of the fact that when they're nice and lined up in your medicine cabinet, they look really nice when you bring them home. So I think there's something to that too. There's a level of, we don't all have to lose our pride just because our kids are sick. We still want some a little bit of aesthetic in there.